Tailgating. It's one of the most annoying things on the roads when someone is following you too closely and they don't want to back off. They are trying to encourage you to go faster. Often they will be going pretty much on the speed limit at this point, and you might not want to go over the speed limit because after all, that is speeding. But how do you get them to back off? How do you actually get them to back off the back of your car? A lot of people brake very gently. They lift off the throttle just to emphasize that I'm going as fast as I want to go and I'm not going 1 mile an hour faster than that. But there are other ways, and probably safer ways as well, about going about getting those tailgaters off your rear end. So how do you do it? Well, a driving expert has had his say on this, and it's an interesting way to actually go about getting rid of them. Let's have a look, guys. Got the full story for you here on the channel as always. So whether you're an experienced driver or just starting out, having another vehicle riding your bumper can be incredibly frustrating. It's very off-putting, nerve-wracking, and it can, of course, lead to crashes. It is dangerous. If you are a tailgater, stop it. Don't do that. Why are you doing that? But what do? How do you actually get them to stop doing that? Well, here's one way to stop it. Annie Winterburn, who runs Spot On Driving, notes that many motorists are uncertain about how to address this predicament, since slamming on the brakes could cause a crash. Even if you are just dabbing on the brakes, it can put the person off behind and they can have a crash. You might say that is common and that they deserve that, but ideally, road accidents should not happen. They should be avoided whenever possible. Kind of goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Well, Annie had this interesting theory about how to do it. Annie instead suggests leaving a bigger gap between yourself and the car in front of you. And this basically gives you more leeway. This puts you, for lack of a better term, more in the driving seat when it comes to the car behind you. Because the last thing that you want to do is to be too close to the guy in front of you, and if they have to go on the brakes or slow down suddenly and you have to do the same, you don't want someone crashing into your rear end. It would be the person behind's fault, 100%, but you'd rather not have that happen. It's a lot of hassle, to say the very least. And in fact, these days, that advice is very much echoed in practical tests in the UK when it comes to driving exams. And in fact, in theory tests in the United States, this advice is also a part of the curriculum. For those that aren't aware, you should basically always leave a 2-second gap in dry, bright conditions. Obviously, this does increase if the road is wet and if it is poor visibility, whether it's at night or, of course, whether it is foggy or anything like that. And if it's icy, multiply it by 10. Don't take any risks when it comes to that. Although I'm recording this in August, so the majority of people will not need to know that advice just yet. Give it a few months though. It'll get cooler eventually. And in fact, in a lot of countries around the world, including the US and the UK, if you are caught tailgating by the police, you can get a fine, you can get a ticket, you can get points on your license. You can and will be penalised for it. And I think that's absolutely fair. There is no excuse for tailgating. Yes, it is annoying when someone in the Yes, it is annoying when someone in the fast lane, in the overtaking lane, is going too slowly, but you shouldn't go tailgating them, because if they dab on the brakes, if they get spooked by the fact that your car is basically so far up their rear end that they can't even see your headlights, they may well make a mistake. That can come as a big surprise. You might say, well, that's karma, they deserve that, but still, you'd be in the wrong for that, unfortunately, if it went to court. So guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Is this a good way to stop tailgaters? Well, for me, it is handy, of course, to have that gap between yourself and the person in front of you. Just leave a bigger gap. But ultimately, if someone is tailgating you, there's not really a lot you can do. I don't recommend, of course, going on the brakes and trying to put them off. That'll just make them even angrier and could lead to an accident. But there's not really too much you can do. You just got to hope that there's a police car somewhere near and they will pull them over for it. But how often do you see that happen? I personally have never seen anybody get pulled over for tailgating, and it's happened to me a lot on the motorway, as I imagine it has happened to most people at some point. But yeah, those in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always. See you soon, guys. Have a great day wherever in the world today.